Hey love bugs, welcome back to my channel. I know you're thinking, what do you mean welcome back? You're the one that's been gone for so long. I know, but I am back and I am back for good now. So if you've noticed my recent videos, I have started putting thumbnails on it. So I'm diligently working at making my channel something that is enjoyable to look at, as well as making content that is enjoyable to watch. I don't want to make this video super long and drawn out, but it is something that, because of what I saw today, really hit home for me and made me think about the fact that this is a topic that I have experienced personally and felt I needed to discuss. So I'm going to dive right in. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much. If you like my content, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around to see future videos and grow with me. So let's get to the topic. I can't even speak. I promise I will speak correctly. At least try. Okay, so here goes. So what I want to discuss is bullying and suicide. I'm mostly going to stick to the bullying aspect of it, but the reality is some bullying becomes so intense that suicide is something that ends up taking place, and it breaks my heart. And the reason it hit me today is, as I was driving Jossie to school, there was a man that felt the need to take his life, and he jumped off the overpass on the freeway and took his own life. And unfortunately, Jossie and I drove by and saw this tragedy. And of course, as I was coming home, I saw the magnitude of cops that were on the scene. And if I use that word incorrectly, please forgive me. But there were so many cops on the scene. And just to think that this poor man was going through so much that he felt he needed to end it broke my heart. And I was thinking back to when I was in middle school. I was 14 years old, and I was dealing with a lot of hate. Had a lot of girls that didn't like me because their boys wanted to date me, or guys didn't like me because I didn't want to date them. And I was constantly being told that I wasn't good enough. And there was a point where it had gotten back to me that the last day of my 7th grade year, that a group of girls wanted to jump me because they didn't like me. And I remember thinking, I'm tired of the fight. I was already going through a lot. I had been molested and I had been raped, and those are things I'll discuss in another video. But I just felt like everything in my world was flipping upside down, and I just felt like there was nobody to reach out to. And the contribution of being bullied and having some family issues really took its toll on me, and I thought it would be best just to end it all. And so I tried to end it with pills. And looking back, if I get teary-eyed, forgive me, I keep thinking that if there was just somebody that had reached out to me, that had made me feel like I was worth more than I had given myself credit for, if all these people weren't hating on me, and these women, well, these kids had realized that I wasn't trying to date their men, maybe I wouldn't have felt like I was in such a dark place. And I have a strong faith in God, and I believe that he wasn't done with me yet. There was a reason that he kept me here. And for all I know, maybe it's to share the story. I don't know. But my suicide attempt did not stick. I ended up going to an institution for recovery. And then from there, I went and lived with one of my aunts for a year. And through her, I was introduced to God. I was able to revamp myself, go to a new area where I wasn't being bullied and where I was making friends. And it felt good to make these friends and not to be hated on. And of course, I was in a little, country area. I went and lived in Florida, and I can't think of what part of Florida it was. It wasn't Jacksonville, but it was the outskirts of Jacksonville. So anyways, I went and lived with her, and I got to revamp myself. Not many kids that are going through bullying have that. But of course, that opportunity didn't just manifest itself. It came at a cost. And that cost was me almost claiming my life and leaving behind the people that mattered to me most. And the reality is, suicide is a long-term solution to a short-term problem. I now realize that there is nothing in this world that is worth taking my life over. And if I could talk to my 14-year-old self, I would have said, yes, I know that these people are bullying you. Yes, I know that it feels like the world is crumbling down on you and you have no hope. You have, you don't have the support system that you need, but trust and believe that you will overcome this and you will rise from all of this, and you alone have the ability to be the best version of yourself. And I know that doesn't make sense, and I know for those of you that may be experiencing bullying, you may feel like the world is crumbling down on you. You may feel like there is no hope, but there is. And I can tell you this because I've come from it. I've been at the bottom of the rubble. I mean, when you think about it, I almost lost my life because I thought that it was easier to end it than to deal with it. And it was hard. And even with my YouTube channel, I dealt with a lot of hate. And I remember lashing back and doing videos on that. And by lashing back, I was only being a bully myself. And so I've learned now that in life, we're going to deal with hatred. In life, we're going to deal with people that aren't going to see eye to eye with us. They're not going to want to deal with us. They're not going to always say the nicest things. But sometimes we have to understand that maybe these people that are bullying us have a deep-rooted anger and hatred within themselves, or they're dealing with something that's so intense that they feel the need to do this to someone else. And maybe if you just reach out to them and say, hey, do you need to talk? You'd be surprised the response that you might get. They might be like, no, I don't need to talk. What you talking about? But at the end of the day, the reality is this. We're going to experience hatred. There are so many people in this world that go through bullying, that go through hate, and it's sad. It's sad to think that we live in a world where hatred and bullying and picking and pulling at people is actually present. And it broke my heart because today I did an Instagram story and I mentioned that I was going to do a video on bullying because it was a near and dear topic to me, because I went through it and it was so bad for me that I felt the only way out was to end my life. And I am so glad that God did not see fit to take me at that moment, and that I am still here, and I am, you know, raising my kids, and that God has blessed me with 3 amazingly wonderful kids, and I have had the pleasure of raising some along the way. And so I thank God every day for his grace and his mercy on me, and for keeping me around even though I didn't feel like I should be here. And I guess seeing that man and his face broke me, and it compelled me to do this video, because there is possibly somebody out there that is dealing, not possibly, there is definitely people out there that are dealing with horrible bullying situations. And I know you guys don't know me, and I know that somehow, either if you're a subscriber, great, but somehow you stumbled across my channel, and maybe you're dealing with bullying, and I want you to know that there is hope, and that what you're experiencing now may seem like there is no hope. And in today's day and age, there is this cyberbullying, and you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, you can post a picture or share a picture, and anger or things get out, and then that picture gets shared with people that it doesn't need to be shared with, and the next thing you know, there's this like cycle of hatred, or you're being mocked, you're being bullied for something that you shared in confidence with someone else. And or young kids, and that's the topic I was going to say when I did my Instagram story. I had a woman reach out to me that said that her first grader, oh my gosh, first grader was being bullied. And I'm sorry, it broke my heart to read what she had written me, and to hear that her young girl didn't want to go to school anymore because she was being bullied by other students. And I can't imagine what these young kids could be bullying each other about. Kindergarten, our elementary years, those are years that we are supposed to enjoy. We are supposed to be out there and having fun. And, you know, to know that a young child is scared to go to school because their peers are going to make them feel some kind of way, to know that there are kids out there as young as 10 that have claimed their lives because they were bullied in school. I can't fathom that, not even for a second. And, you know, Jossie, she's in high school now, and she dealt with something yesterday that just broke my heart. And, you know, naturally as a mother, I wanted to address it much differently. You know, you just want to go after the person. But I realized I had to be calm, I had to be collective, and I had to be there for her. And I had to make her realize her worth. I had to make her understand that there are evil people in this world, and that they don't define you. Sorry, I spit. They don't define us. We define ourselves. We are not what other people say of us. We are who we choose to be. And it's so important to remember that. So if you are experiencing bullying, I am so, so sorry from the bottom of my heart, but I need you to know that you are special. You are loved. You are cherished. You are the child to the King of Kings. And You are worthy of far more than what anybody tells you. And don't lose sight of who you are. Straighten up that crown and remember that you are better than what you think. If there's anything you need to talk about and you feel like you don't have somebody to reach out to me, my social medias are linked below. Feel free to reach out to me. I will be more than happy to communicate with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I have missed you all so much. I truly love you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you so much for being a part of my journey and growing on my YouTube channel again. So I will talk to you later. Be blessed, and remember, you are loved and you are worthy.